Admiral's log. As the war against the United States is starting to draw to a close, the contrast between our two nations could not be more stark. While the American population grows increasingly war-weary, their spirits flagging under the weight of endless conflict, the resolve of the Chinese people remains unbroken, fueled by the strength of our collective spirit and the bonds of unity that bind us together as one. It is a testament to the power of collectivism, to the strength that comes from standing together as a single cohesive force. While the Americans may pride themselves on their rugged individualism, it is our unity, our willingness to sacrifice for the greater good, that has given us the strength to endure in the face of adversity. As I look out upon the faces of my comrades, I'm filled with a sense of pride and admiration for the resilience of the Chinese people, knowing that it is our unity that will ultimately lead us to victory. Hey guys, Stealth here and welcome to episode 23. The initial plan, invading Western United States, did not work out. It is too strong. There's just a lot of naval tonnage that you need if you want to overcome the ports of San Diego, San Francisco, and Seattle. So I've decided to switch tactics. We're gonna go and do some hopping. So I've already taken over Salvador over here because, well, it was a nice little port. Beyond that, I am working on taking over Panama. I don't believe that the Panama Canal is there yet, but I'll happily scoop that up when it opens. I have also taken over Peru. Interestingly, Peru actually did not have any kind of a port resistance by the time I was done with it. I guess we're still trying to dock the fleet, which I'm not sure exactly where they're parking, but we're parking 300,000 tons nowhere. We have no port capacity. Immediately, the army took it upon itself to say, well, we're going on a little march. We're going to send 2.5 million men into Ecuador. This was kind of the plan, or rather my hope, because I can't control the army, but the army, well, they do army things, and they just march their way into Ecuador, which would be nice, because it's also an oil production area. Southern Colombia is a bit of a bigger fish to take over, because their port of Buenaventura is a bit bigger. So first we're going to do Panama. I've also taken over British Guiana over here, because it was up for grabs. And I am now very close, it's going to be about 50-50, to taking over Maine. If this works, and I'm very much hoping it will, I'll be able to start just marching troops into eastern USA. Now that's not going to be easy. They have an army force of 500,000, but that's likely going to grow. If, I believe, a Maine territory gets taken over or gets threatened, well, at that point, the population just joins the army. At least a large swath of them. So this is going to be an interesting situation to monitor. How many troops can I actually send from Maine into the eastern USA? Because with the ports of New York, Philadelphia, and Boston, I mean, these ports combined, what is that, 1.5 million tons? It's even worse. I cannot invade this. Southeastern seaboard then? Well, this is almost 400,000, this is 350,000, this is... No. It's too big. As for the rest, like Cuba, Dominican Republic, yeah, I might scoop these up just to make the US economy disintegrate even more. Because there's not a whole lot of it left. There's 238 billion, and they just keep shrinking. Their fleet's only 35 ships. Mine is about double that, and because my ships have had such enormous success so far, there has been a lot of interest in my ships. At least building new ones. So we're building a State Bell 2 class, and this is going to be finishing in 2 months. This thing cost me 71 million per month to build. But I'm taking, I think, 50% or 100% profit on this ship. So while my economy is pretty bad right now, like I'm spending 170 million, and I have almost no research. My naval funding is quite low. But that's not really telling the whole story. Because yes, it might be bad for now, but in about 2 months from now, I should suddenly be sitting on about 4.5 billion. As for ending the war with the US, I've been considering it just to boost my own economy a bit more. And because I'm also stretching the Chinese Navy very thin at this point, I mean, I have ports pretty much in every major area right now. That means I have very poor army logistics. That can be a problem. It has broken a campaign when I was playing as the Soviets, so it is somewhat dangerous to overextend in this way. But considering I'm only fighting the US, I thought it was okay to at least continue for now. Because the US, well, I think we might need a couple more months, but it might disintegrate. At which point, I can still scoop up whatever is left of the US. That's why I'm taking over all of these provinces that the US is currently holding. At least, let's say they're more colonial-oriented territories. I want to make sure that their economy takes hit after hit after hit. And the more territory you take away, the more their economy is going to go down. Did we get it? I think we got it. Did we get it? Yes! We've taken control of Maine. This is excellent. Oh, Germany's busy in northeastern England. That's nice. The Grand Bahamas. Sure. It is ungoverned. And I should be able to send... Yeah, I can send that. What is that? 107,000? Off you go. Now, what is left of England? Ooh. There's quite a lot left of England. But I don't think really that I have a stake in this. Good lord, how is Germany doing? Their economy was massive before. 2.5 trillion? Like, add up Italy, France, the Chinese, and the Austro-Hungarians, you don't even get that. The Russians are down to 72? What happened to you? Army logistics, 23%. Yeah, that sounds about right. Then we have the Spanish, which actually have an economy that's twice the size of Russia. Oh, God. Look at this. 229 billion. I think we're going to see not so much a decline, but just an implosion of the US, which I have never seen in a campaign. It would be really, really weird to see something like that happen. Do I want to take over the Bermuda Islands? Nah, it's 104 million. It's not worth it. Let's head up Havana. Let's visit Cuba for a while. Or, well, Dominican Republic is more valuable. Yeah, that's where we're going. Relocate the fleet. The reason why I have a whole bunch of the rest of the fleet sitting here is to save some money. Because if I do send all of these out, that's a lot more money that I'm currently spending. But now we're sitting on 500 million. And now that ship should be completed, and now I'm sitting on 4 billion. That is the payday that I'm looking for. And it's just the first of many. We're not just building one state belt, we're building more. We're building battle cruisers, we're building, well, some destroyers. I mean, they don't really move the needle, there we go, nearly as much. But, well, every bit helps, because I am selling these things with a profit. Chile wants to fight. Yeah, sure. God, the fleet's busy with invasions everywhere. How is this moving? 22%. Yeah, we should get this. Okay, so this one is coming along nicely. Chile would like some attention. I now have 4 billion. Let's send the whole fleet. I'm only spending 14 million now. The next payday, let's see, it's going to be in 2 months. That's a DD. And then 5 months from now, we'll sell one of the Chengdu-class battlecruisers. They're not nearly as lucrative, but they help. And I believe that we are building another state belt here. Yeah, so these ships, well, they're very expensive to build, to be sure, but I think that with the exports, I've actually been able to make these things worth it. I've actually been able to make these things kind of pay for themselves. Now, this is going to go nicely. Let's invade more of the US. We're going to go for the Dominican Republic. Right here, that's another 1.4 billion. US was on 229, they're now on 227. They're very advanced. That's great, but they will die very advanced. They're also fighting the Germans. Not sure that's a good idea. Where is the US fleet anyway? I haven't seen them in a long time. Yeah, I don't know. Alright, so let me take over some more territory and I'll be right back with you. A few months later, exactly what I was hoping for is happening. The Chinese Empire initiates a major offensive from the province of Maine against the United States at eastern USA. It's a bit of a weird way of saying, we are going to invade the eastern USA. This is very, very heavily protected. 2.7 million men. I don't think this is going to work. Now that does leave me with a bit of a conundrum, because I can end the war pretty much at any time of my choosing. If the army messes up this invasion, I will have a bigger issue, because I will be, well, losing a lot of victory points. Not so much losing, but the US gains a lot of them. Right now I have a surplus of 600,000, but I'm still invading here, which can take 3 more months. I'm still invading here, which is going to take 4 more months, and I've dispatched a ship or 2 here, which is going to take, well, another couple of 5 months. But this is an ungoverned territory, so this is sort of a freebie, if you will. I'm also considering going for Southern Colombia, and considering that this is not likely to move anytime quick, maybe I can still grab that, but it is going to be pretty close. Look at how much I can invade. Southern Colombia is only 40,000 tons, it's fine. Let's grab this, because I got a massive fleet here. I hope that I can still get this before this invasion implodes, because this is going to go horribly wrong. My army logistics is only 37%, theirs is 42%. It's going to be pretty bad. There is still the option that the US completely implodes before anything else happens. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for. But, well, they don't decrease that quickly. So I might need to be a little bit more patient with that. Now, I guess somebody somewhere put a signature and now we're at peace. It's unfortunate because I was almost there. The landing from Peru almost went through. I was on like 93%, I think. Unfortunate. But not all is lost. Because I have 4.5 billion that I can claim. Well. Southern Egypt, you're right. We're going to scoop up most, if not the entirety, of the US. Offland. Yeah, Singapore would do nicely. Dutch Antilles, yes please. I'll take the Cayman Islands. I'll take Cuba. I'll take Guantanamo. And here it's nice this time of year. Haiti, Jamaica, Nicaragua, Trinidad, Virgin Islands. Anything else? I do want to get some money out of it, because now I'm bleeding money like crazy. I will propose this, and they will say, yeah, sure. Here's all of our territory. Thank you very kindly. So that is very generous of the US. I'm sure they came all this, well, they came up with this all by themselves. They still get to keep Maine. They get to keep the eastern USA. Their economy might start stabilizing. Oh, or it might not. Taking all of this territory might have just crashed the United States. They're down to $12 billion. That's it. If they shrink more, that could be the end of them. Interesting. Now, I'm bleeding money like crazy. Like, I'm spending 700 million a month because I'm no longer at war. The reason for this is I was trying to rush research on a new hull, the large battleship hulls. This is going to give me the modern battleship, the super battleship, the command battleship, which is something I've never seen. And same for the large torpedo warship. Definitely a couple of hulls in there that I have not seen. It's going to take me 11 months, but I cannot sustain this rate of expenditure for any amount of time. I think it's time to start bringing the fleet home. The real question is, where is home? because I have all of a sudden a lot of new homes. Let's put a bunch of them... Well, actually, I'm going to start splitting them up. This way, if war starts, I'll be able to start getting at least some defense going on all of these various territories. Because, good lord, we have a lot to defend now. The Kahar is going to go that way. They still need to fix this. I sent one ship on its way, and now I cannot select the ship behind it. Right. These guys are still required here. Where is everybody? Oh, here. 21 heavy cruisers. Let's go to Buenaventura. I do believe I have a battle cruiser here in Pearl Harbor. I have nothing in Rarotonga. I have one destroyer guarding here. I have a heavy cruiser over there, the Shaanxi. Should be going into Suva just to dock. And let's just put the whole fleet, insofar as their home, under the limited condition. This is going to come at some cost to being able to keep the crew trained. But for now, we're going to have to save some money. Drastically. And yes, I know I'm behind in tech. I know. It's something I would like to address, but I want to see if the US implodes, yes or no. Well, well, well. The United States has been dissolved due to economic collapse. Not how I had envisioned the takeover of the United States, but this opens up a lot of options. That is massive amounts of territory that are up for grabs. And since this is now considered ungoverned territory, that means I have a much better chance of taking it over. Right now, what I'm waiting for... Yeah, I'm not even sure where that is. I'll say yes, but... What do they want me to conquer? The Pitcairn Islands? Yeah. Fine, I'll send you one heavy cruiser. The fleet on the western side, so let's say southwest America over here, or rather western South America, was on its way to Pearl, and then these guys started acting up. That's fine. I have an opportunity to just dispatch one cruiser. This takeover is going so-so. I might need to send a few more of my ships over there just to keep these guys contained. I'm not that impressed with the Grand Bahama. Oh, sorry, with the New Providence. It's 280 million. It's not that impressive. What I am very interested in is whether the army now has a better chance of walking into the eastern USA. If I'm able to do that, I'm going to be getting massive boosts to my economy. Massive. Now, I was spreading out the fleet. I was trying to get the fleet into positions from where they could be, let's say, a bit more distributed, and possibly in positions where they could defend commerce. Just let the economy grow for a couple of years. But with the collapse of the United States, I might have to recombine the fleet into one big blob and be ready to take over, well, any area that is up for grabs. Seriously, the United States collapsed. I think these guys might be next. If this continues, we're going to have a world without the USA. We're going to have a world without the British Empire, and potentially one without the Russians as well. That leaves a extraordinarily powerful Germany with very advanced technology and 17 battleships. They apparently also went the cruiser route, 44 heavies and 62 lights. That's a lot of cruisers. Italy is rather rich. 781 billion? What does Italy have? They got Sudan. Oh, they got... Whoa. Whoa. Italian Somaliland, 2.6 billion. Yeah, they have options. They have options. The Germans are making their way into French Sudan. Yeah, I think they'll get it. Mauritania is nice. What about the French Empire itself? Yeah, they're also getting invaded. 2.9 million Germans. How are the French doing? They're 682 billion. Yeah. If they're able to start sending those 30 battleships out against the Germans, maybe they can actually get something done. For now, I'm not sure where those 30 battleships are at. And if they're actually very advanced. Just have to see how that goes. Oh, look at that. The GDP instantly booms back to 10% growth per year. This is nuts. This is nuts. All right, let's see if the USA comes up for, let's say, hostile or not so hostile takeover. It is now January 1937, and with this new research, I have the new hulls that I was discussing. I've been building a lot of ships for other nations. Everybody wants a Chinese ship. So I guess the whole Made in China logo is not necessarily bad. Because just look at the amount of ships that I'm building for other nations. Battleships, heavy cruisers, battle cruisers, destroyers. There's a lot going around. And we're going to add to our offering with a bit more. I, for one, am very interested in seeing exactly what a large torpedo warship looks like. I have not seen these new Chinese hulls yet. I want to have one super battleship, just as a flex to the rest of the world, and I might also be able to sell these things off. Now, this is the super battleship, displacing up to 82,000 tons, which is not that much bigger than the modernized Dreadnought, which does 87. Actually, it's less. My bad. We got the command battleship hull. Yeah, okay. Not terribly impressed. Got the modern battleship going up to 60,000 tons. Look at the price tag difference. Good lord. This thing, so the super battleship, 518 million. If I max this thing out, it displaces that 82,000. You're about 550 in. This thing, at max, is not necessarily anywhere in the same region. Yeah, actually, it's quite the same, 585. And then you got the modern battleship. This thing displaces up to 78. This thing displaces up to 60. But it seems to be a far cheaper hull to build. At least, yeah. 354 million at 60,000 tons. Maybe the other ones had a higher speed. Anyway, we also have the large torpedo warship. Are you just selling me a French hull? And calling it a large torpedo warship? Or... What's the... What's the selling point? Oh! Oh, really? Now you have my full attention. Now you have my full attention. Okay. Let's go do this. Let's go do this. What's the speed that this thing is rendered for? 30 knots? Whoa. Okay. How about turning this into something that I think can best be described as a mega cruiser? Like, it's fast, 30 knots. It's carrying 20 torpedo launchers per side, and that's just built inside the ship. I can add more. Now, ideally, these things are protected by virtue of their position. I'm not sure if that's actually how the game treats it. It is possible that the game says, yeah, well, they're still vulnerable. Like, they're still fragile. Of course, we're going to go 24 inches, and I can make these oxys, which gives me a range of 18 clicks. Gives you a reload of 1800 seconds or half an hour. It's a long-ass reload. If I put these to 21 inch, you barely notice. Is it oxygen? Is that the problem? That doesn't do much for the reload, right? Yeah, 15%. This doesn't do anything for reload. Right, you're shrinking it to 1400 seconds. Whatever. We're going oxygen because we get that nice long range. 18 clicks. They are somewhat sneakier. Like the torpedo detection chance is minus 55, but they're not as sneaky as electrics, which will absolutely just... They'll pop up out of nowhere. They're very accurate. These things are not getting an accuracy buff. It does make the launchers very expensive, but, well, relative to electric, you barely notice. Okay. Let's add the new marine diesel engines. What? 1.7? The fuck? Oh. Right, these are more cruise engines. These things have 44 horsepower per ton. Which means that you need a lot more engine if you want to be able to get up to that speed of 30 knots. If you have a geared turbine or a double geared steam turbine, you don't have that. So engine cost per weight 8,800, engine cost per weight 16,000%. I'd say they're a bit more geared towards destroyers, perhaps. If you want to go, well, turbo electric is actually cheaper. Whatever, I'm not paying 1.6 billion for an engine. I don't even have a superstructure yet. That's it? That's your modern tower? Small tower, yeah. Cool superstructure, bro. Is that it? Well, how's that for a minimalistic approach? I think this is the smallest superstructure I've ever put on a ship. Also, don't be sitting here when the engine's on. You'll regret it. Wait, is that it? I thought that they outlawed this. They didn't? Can you also put them in front? No. Holy shit. Oh boy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How many torpedoes do we put overboard at any given time? 50. It's 50 24-inch torpedoes. I'm not going to do that. At least not with this loadout. Because you'll create a massive fanfire. But everything is going to launch at the same time. And I don't want to have that. So I'm going to diversify my torpedo launchers. These are quintuples, so 5 launchers. I'm going to add a couple of quads. So let's say 3 quads. And then a couple of triples. This way, I am diversifying the launchers and making sure that they have different reloads. You got the quads, which reload in about half an hour. Oh, sorry, the quints. You got the quads, which reload in about 1500 seconds. So that is 5 minutes less. And then you got the triples, which reload in 1100 seconds. Or about 18 minutes, I think. No, a little bit more. Yeah. Okay, this is a weird and wonderful ship. Now, this thing is going to be designed to stay very far away from the fleet, naturally. She is certainly not going to get very close to the enemy. Although she has a massive amount of belt. I think your belt is too good. Let's give her more deck armor. More superstructure. Anyway, her guns are not going to be that formidable. Her main guns can only be 13-inch. That's an interesting limitation on a battleship hull. They're 1,100 tons, and that's without the reload. I'm just gonna take a bunch of armor off. Put this to TNT. We have oil. Okay, fine. Put some barbette armor on there. Electro-hydraulic torpedo launchers. Well, turrets. Not torpedo launchers. 2 powder. Go for, I'd say, a standard ratio. And let's get the full... Well, will these semi-armor piercing shells do anything? We got, what, armor quality? 160% these days? Yeah, that'll not really do much. But then again, the selling point for this ship is just these big fuck-off torpedo launchers. So, in that case, I think I can get away with it. Seriously, this is bananas. Let's do more. Quad launcher there. Quad launcher there. Triple launcher here. And here. And the quad there. Oh, the ship's overweight. Fine. Afterweight offset's a bit high. We need to put some launchers on the bow. This is a... Okay, there's another quad. Okay, so how many can we dump into the water? We got 4, 8, 11, 15, 18, 22, 25, 29, 34, 39, 44, 49 torpedo launchers per side. So what this thing needs to do is be able to turn. Its turning circle is probably not going to be very good. 1,300 meters on paper. Yeah. I am very interested in using this ship. I think it's going to work either horribly, horribly poorly, because the torpedo launchers just get destroyed before they even get a chance to function, or it's going to be epic. And you just eliminate whole lines of battle. It's gonna sit probably not anywhere in the middle. Like, it either works remarkably well, or everybody dies very, very quickly. I'm gonna put some secondaries on here just to be sure. Because if something does close in, or God forbid spawns on top of me, I have issues. So put some 5-inchers there. And can we get those... Yeah, I can get the super firing turrets there. This has to be one of my more cursed designs recently. Oh, we're slightly too heavy. There. What have I built? Like, what have I built? Come on. Put this forward. Put this here. Oh, you can't. This is as far as you'll go. Okay, fine. These things fire out to 34 kilometers if they're using armor piercing. Since this is a sniper, I'm going to give them barrels which are as long as possible, giving me a potential range of 40 clicks. Even with a radar rangefinder, I might not even spot anything out that far. But at least it'll make the barrels and the guns pretty accurate. Let's give them an RDF for even faster target acquisition. We've got 8 tons left, so I'm about done here. Yeah. This is the cursed fish class. You get to figure out why. Cost 1.1 billion. Relative to a state belt, that's actually cheap. So you can get 49 torpedo launchers per side, or you can get a battleship, which displaces about twice the thing that the cursed fish does, but carries 16-inch guns. Up to you which one you want to get. This is awesome. Now, what I was actually going for was a new ship that I could sell. But even if I supersize this thing by increasing draft and width, so beam, I'm not sure if it's going to be that impressive. But then again, I don't necessarily have to buy them. I just have to sell them. So the super battleship. What can we get up to? Like 110? Give or take? 100. Yeah. Okay, whatever. This is going to be the Showboat class. Maneuvering... I don't know. If I make this thing fast, it'll also make it ridiculously expensive. Give it diesels. What? $18 billion? Huh? Okay, fine. Fine. I'll entertain the notion. 18? Like, dude, I haven't even added all the gear to this ship yet, but considering just how expensive this thing is, that's going to make it look like a rounding error. Oh, we're already at the displacement. Anti-torpedo blister is a bit heavy. Give me oil, give me... Oh, ho, ho. Okay. So that's expensive. The ship might still need some guns, though. So I guess we're gonna have to go a little slower. 30 knots will be fine. Like, it's a showboat, right? Here's a 20-inch gun. Here's another 20-inch gun. It's gonna need at least one funnel. Yeah, you don't say. There. Funnels. What is so heavy on this ship? Is it the propulsion? What's this thing rated for? 32 knots? No, you're not getting that. Turbo electric makes it 8 billion. Gear turbines? 6 billion. It just doesn't fit. Oh, it has 23 inches of armor. Yeah, I guess that explains a lot. Just, I don't know, super heavy semi-ballistic shells. That should give me some decent pen. Doesn't matter how angled you are, this is going to find you and this is going to end you. It's only a Mark II 20-inch though. So it's more for show than anything else. Put some Mark Vs here on these wings. Couple of 6-inchers. Actually, I can probably fit an 8. Just put 8-inch guns as secondaries, why don't you? Remove that. I'd love to see this thing fight, but my budget is going to be somewhat unhappy if I actually buy one. I think Treasury's gonna go, you want to build fucking what? You what? No! You're not getting that level of money. And I can respect that. The problem is now, how am I going to make this thing fit? Because I need to save 18,000 tons somewhere. That's a lot. I think I'd need to make it slow, like 23 knots. Yeah, that saved me a lot. Firepower-wise, this thing is... I'm not so sure. Look at that reload. 156 seconds? Jeez. Give me maximum AP shells. For the mains. I'm not firing HE with that. I mean, I can. I'll probably blow... I can pen 12 inches of armor with high explosive. Because of course I can. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting ship to use. If we save some auxiliary engine weight... Yeah, that also saved me a bunch of money too. And that's with diesels. Gear turbines, it's only 2.6 billion? I can have this for the same price as a state belt? Really? Well, I mean, it's a bit more expensive, but whatever. Price to run? 100 million a month. Eh. Eh. I mean, what this thing does, for what it does, it's really expensive. But it's fun. That's worth something, right? Give me diesel engines. I wanna... I wanna see if any of the nations that I'm allied with is crazy enough to actually buy one of these. What's my range? 38 kilometers. Yeah, give or take a few. Let's treat this as an actual, potentially capable warship. And that means we're going to add some secondary guns to it. Like, add all the 2-inchers in spots where they can. Never mind. 2-inch dual barrels. That is kind of disappointing. The American hulls definitely have a bit more tolerance for secondary guns. Yeah, okay. Well, at least it has a cruiser strapped to its side. That's fun. These barrels are as long as they can be. The 20-inchers don't need to be longer. I can supersize these to basically 9-inch guns. And those are 9-inch Mark IV, so they're really capable. The ship is still overweight. She's not as heavily armored. I find that to be a bit concerning. Let's make sure that she never gets torpedoed. Because I can save some weight there. And hope that she doesn't get flash fire. Because that's probably... Yeah, that has the... If this thing does flash fire, it's going to be the most expensive flash fire in my navy. 12% is still high. What's causing that? Do we need to go back to Cordite? No, Cordite's 51? 17%. 9%. It's probably the super heavy shells. Yeah, it's the super heavies. I'm not going to risk that. I'll take standard shells. It's unfortunate, but we'll just have to live with the limited pen. I'd rather do it that way than risk having a ship blow up on me. 29 inches of armor on the turrets is a bit much. There. 22 inches on the barbettes. Yeah, this is fine. So, for the low price of $4.2 billion, you too can be the proud owner of a showboat. Now, one thing I hadn't actually even noticed is that the army has taken upon itself to move into the area over here of Kashmir. So we're going to be taking that pretty soon. It's a rounding error at 263 million, but hey, it helps. As for the US, well, we've taken over decent portions of their territory so far. And I'm eagerly awaiting the time when North America actually comes up for grabs. But it is possible that they're going to reconstitute the US at some point. For now, though, this is going to be it for the episode. No battles this time around, but I hope that you've been entertained by some of my weirder battleship creations. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon for more.